Hey, welcome back to Leffman's Cocktails. We're continuing on with Martini March, and tonight we're going to do 3 martinis that really aren't martinis but are called martinis. I know that was a lot. So basically, back in the 80s and 90s, anything that was served in a traditional like cocktail, V-style martini glass was called a martini. It didn't matter if it had gin, it didn't matter if it had vermouth or was an actual martini. Basically, just like any cocktail that was invented at this time seems to have been called a martini. But tonight we're going to do 3. We're going to do the espresso martini, a French martini, and a breakfast martini. Again, they're not martinis at all. They're just cocktails, but they're called martinis, and this is Martini March. So first up, we're going to make the espresso martini. So this is a really easy and classic one that everyone loves. It's been around since the 80s. A guy named Dick Bradsell created it. And originally, it just had espresso, Koloa, and vodka. Because I really don't like vodka. And I'm going to use rum, this Koloa rum I got in Hawaii. It has a slight vanilla taste to it, and I think that'll really, accentuate the coffee really well along with that espresso. For the coffee liqueur, I'm using homemade. If you want to know how I make it, I made a video, and I'll put a link down below. It's pretty simple. If you have coffee grounds and sugar, a little bit of alcohol of some sort, you can make a coffee liqueur as well. I highly recommend it. It's cheap, it's easy, and it's kind of fun to mess around with. And then it also calls for some simple syrup, and I'm going to make some espresso with our Nespresso. So let's go ahead and make this cocktail. All right, straight from the Nespresso here, we got 1 ounce of fresh espresso. We're gonna do 1 ounce of our rum, 1 ounce of our coffee liqueur, and a 1/4 ounce of simple syrup. Add in our ice. We're gonna shake that up for a good 10 to 15 seconds, get it nice and frothed up. Gonna go ahead and strain that into our chilled coupe. Single strain works just fine for this. I like to just garnish with a cinnamon stick. All right, so I know the most common way is to have like 3 little espresso beans nicely laid out on top, but at the Atlas bar in Singapore, they use a cinnamon stick, so I'm gonna use a cinnamon stick because, how am I gonna do it better than they do? They're a great bar. If you're ever in Singapore, highly, highly, highly recommend Atlas Bar. One of the most beautiful bars I've ever been to in my life. All right, let's try our espresso martini. Cheers. I mean, as I've said before on this channel, I'm not a big coffee drinker, so this doesn't necessarily appeal to me very much, but I will say that the combination of the ingredients that I chose, especially that nice vanilla rum, really back this up to provide a really rich and deep flavor. I used a Nespresso because I don't have an espresso machine for real. But with the Nespresso, I used a Colombian pod, and that was delicious. It's providing a little bit more warmth and darkness to this drink, I think. My coffee liqueur was made with Ethiopian coffee from a quick trip to Ethiopia. And then, I think bringing this together, it's got some sweetness, and maybe it could use a tad bit more sweetness. So if you like a little bit of a sweeter drink, you might want to bump that simple syrup up to a 1/2 ounce from just a 1/4 ounce. But I think this is really good. It brings a full coffee flavor with a little bit of that nice vanilla-y rum background. Now, I know a lot of rums don't taste like vanilla unless it's a spiced rum, and this doesn't sell itself as a spiced rum. And it's not so vanilla overpowering, but it's definitely got a little bit of that going on. But it's really good, especially in coffee cocktails. I can't recommend this rum enough. But this is our espresso martini. I think it's really good. And is it really a martini? No, but it definitely has, a legend of its own. It's extremely popular, and people really love it. And for me, it's hard to choose a coffee cocktail that's so great because I don't love coffee, but this is really good. And between this and an Irish coffee, it'd be a really hard choice for me to make if I had to have a coffee drink. Anyway, let's move on to our next one. All right, our next not real martini, but martini drink up is the breakfast martini. This was created in 1996 by Salvador Calabrese, I'm not sure, in London. And it is kind of a riff on Harry Craddock's marmalade cocktail. It has gin. Tonight we're gonna use Bombay Sapphire. It has an orange liqueur or triple sec, so we're gonna use Cointreau tonight. And it also has orange marmalade and lemon juice. Now, if you're thinking, when looking at these bottles, hey, we just did the Joy Division, the same 2 bottles. Yeah, it's the same 2. It's gonna probably taste very similar, except this is a sour style cocktail because it has fresh squeezed lemon juice. It's a shaking cocktail. I'm really interested to try it. I haven't had this one before. I've had some other cocktails with marmalade in them, and they are really good. Like the Velvet Revolver, really one of my top like sour style cocktails besides like the classics. Definitely a modern classic. I'm really hoping this one lives up to it. Let's go ahead and try it. All right, our first ingredient is 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice, 3/4 of an ounce of our Cointreau, 2 ounces of our gin. The only cocktail today using gin. I'm gonna throw a pretty good sized bar spoon, heaping bit of orange marmalade in there. Boom. Let's drop in our ice. All right, again, this is a sour style cocktail. It's got that fresh squeezed lemon juice. Let's give it a 10 to 15 second shake. Really get everything nice, aerated, mixed up, and ready to enjoy. All right, we're gonna give this one a double strain to our chilled cocktail glass. Or martini glass, you know, as it's kind of called. For a garnish, I kind of want to do a little like spiral of orange. See how this works out for us. Plan was to kind of hang it on the outside maybe. Not bad. All right, so this one is actually kind of interesting because it's basically a daisy because it doesn't have any simple syrup except for that marmalade, which is going to provide a lot of extra sweetness to this drink. But otherwise, like if it was just the gin, the Cointreau, and the lemon juice, that would just be like a gin daisy. Anyway, let's go ahead and try it. God, these glasses always make me so nervous because they spill so easy. Oh, that is refreshing. And the marmalade that I used was like bitter orange marmalade. And I think that with the Cointreau is actually working to provide a lot more flavor than I was expecting from this. It's very bright like you'd expect from the lemon juice. I think a little bit of the orange zest that I got on top is also adding to this nice orange bomb of flavor that's not like orange juice orange. It's like an intense, zesty, bright orange. That with the lemon, the gin providing its nice botanicals in the background, really upping the power of it. Really good. Like I said, I hadn't tried this before, and I'm actually really surprised on how tasty this is. And you know, while again, not a true martini with gin and vermouth, really tasty, highly recommend. I don't know if I want to have this for breakfast necessarily, but it's really tasty. You know, let me know what you think. All right, our last cocktail for the video is the French Martini, created in the late 90s in New York by Harry McNally. And this was really popular, and in fact, my mother-in-law asked me to make this a few years ago for her, and I learned how to make it. I think it's pretty good. It uses some ingredients that I don't usually use in cocktails, like vodka. Tonight we're gonna use Smirnoff 100 proof vodka. Now, to be honest, I only have this vodka to make vodka sauce for pasta, because I don't really make vodka cocktails almost ever. This uses pineapple juice, and I'm betting in the late 90s they weren't fresh pressing pineapple juice, so I got some nice canned Del Monte pineapple juice. And then it uses Chambord, which is a blackberry, raspberry liqueur. I think it's very good, but I don't use it very often, so I only have this very small bottle. It's a shaking cocktail. I think this cocktail has a lot of room for growth and potential, but we're gonna make the original, see what we think, and you know, see if it counts as a martini, which it doesn't. All right, our first ingredient is gonna be 1 ounce of pineapple juice. And 1 ounce of our Chambord. And we're gonna do 2 ounces of our vodka. Let's drop in our ice. All right, and we'll go ahead and double strain that into our chilled glass. I'm using a Nick and Nora for this one. And for garnish, I'm gonna use 2 little pineapple fronds, clipped in the back. Traditionally, a blackberry, but in Japan, impossible to find. All right, so the French Martini, let's give it a try. Honestly, I give such like fake martinis so much shit, but this is actually really tasty. Of course, I don't get anything from the vodka, but the mixture of that Chambord and the pineapple juice is really, really tasty. I definitely can see why this was very popular. I can also see why you wouldn't use pineapple fronds, because I almost just poked my eye out. But this is really good, very tasty, and honestly, really refreshing to drink. I would love to see how this would taste with like a rum or even a gin backing instead of vodka to provide a little bit more depth of flavor, but really as is, really tasty, really good. Very happy to have tried it, honestly. All right, so that was it for tonight. We did 3 cocktails. We did the Espresso Martini, the Breakfast Martini, and the French Martini. Honestly, the winner for me is definitely gonna be the Breakfast Martini. That bright citrus flavor with the gin backing was really, really delicious. I enjoyed it. The Espresso Martini, always a hit. Always, you know, a classic, just enjoyable way to get some caffeine in the night if you don't want Red Bull vodka. And then the French Martini, kind of surprising as such a full flavored drink while being based with vodka, which I don't think provides a lot of flavor to cocktails usually. But, you know, that's just me. Now, these are the 3 fake martinis that I've chosen to do for the video because I think they're popular. I think that they are tasty, and, you know, while they aren't martinis, they definitely earn their place in the cocktail canon history. If you have some favorite fake martinis that you'd like to see, or just your favorites in general, leave a message in the comments. Let me know what you think. And what do you think about fake martinis in general? Should they be called martinis, or should they have their own category? If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and cheers. I'm gonna have some martinis.